Hello and welcome to the Self-Sabotage Breaking Free Solutions podcast. I think I've just stuffed that up. Anyway, it's authentic, Tanner, our combined podcast. We haven't done one for a bit, so it's always good to catch up, talk to you. It's really good that we both did the program, we met, and we have connected in such a great way. And it's really nice talking to you, Tanner. It's always a pleasure to have you on. It's always a pleasure to get your insights into all sorts of wonderful topics. We've done a heap of these now, so we can probably put a few of them in the show notes for people to go back and listen to and watch. So, Tanner, welcome today. We've been talking off air for the last probably 10 minutes. Not really sure what we're going to talk about today. So, we'll see what comes through. Hey, a bit of financial stuff, some celebrity stuff, and who knows what else. Tanner, welcome again. My listeners know who you are now. So, what's been going on?
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast, Nathan. Always super grateful to come on and talk with you. I always really enjoy our conversations. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing really good. Been doing a 10-day detox, liver cleanse and parasite cleanse and all that. Clearing out the whole tract. Then now doing a 3-day actual water fast. So looking forward to what that brings and feeling really good. And yeah, I think tonight, I mean, the main thing that came to my head was possibly talking about like financial self-sabotage and why when like people win the lottery or they get really like famous really quickly, they end up like sabotaging themselves in other ways, right? They end up spending up all their money like really quick because they don't feel comfortable with it. They end up going to like drugs and alcohol. So what's really going on, and why would part of our mind do that to us, or why would we, sabotage our own progress once we finally get that money that we oh so desperately wanted for the longest time, right? So I think that'd be a pretty good subject to talk about. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a good one. We probably delve into it now. There's heaps of stories out there of people that have won millions of dollars, then within 6 months, 12 months, they're back to where they previously were. We can talk about poverty mindset, poverty consciousness. There's so many layers to why that happens. And obviously it always reverts back to how powerful this subconscious mind is, the programming from when we were children. You might have been in a poor household. Money might have been a real struggle, in and out, mostly out. And your mind picks up on everything. And it's not just health, it's not just childhood traumas and different things and what people say. It's also money. It's all these things mixed into one. And it really does, like, your environment from when you're a child really does shape who you are as an fully grown adult, and money is part of that. And if your parents struggled, you'll struggle. If your parents drank alcohol, same thing, you'll drink alcohol. We mirror, mimic, and copy our parents. We mirror, mimic, and copy their habits, and we want to bond with them, right? So money's part of that. So if they, you know the story that comes to mind for me is that Michael Vick, which a lot of American people would know. He's pretty common out here in Australia as well. He signed one of the highest NFL contracts. It was like 50 million. It was like 20, 30 years ago. And like, this part of the mind, right? Well, he grew up in a family that was always struggling for money. His community and where he lived and stuff were battlers, right? They always struggled. And when he signed that contract, he went from down here to up here in the matter of months. And this part of the mind was like self-destruct. So when that part of the mind went, whoa, 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 this is uncomfortable, this is unfamiliar, this is unsafe to have this amount of money, he went and started a dogfighting ring. This part of the mind is so powerful that he subconsciously sabotaged himself, because where he grew up, he was then, like, where they were, he was up here. And this part of the mind's like, that's your tribe. You're familiar. You're comfortable. You're safe with them. So we're going to push the self-destruct button, and we're going to go back to that. I think he ended up in jail too and stuff. Like, this part of the mind, super duper powerful. And yeah, money's part of it, Tanner. And that's sort of the Michael Vick story from what I've learned. So there's plenty more,
Yep.
obviously.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super powerful. I remember actually. I remember hearing that story as well. I think it was from. I think Jason told me it.
Yeah, and I
If
went
I
and
remember
researched it,
correctly.
and it was true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there's plenty of examples of it, right? With like lottery winners. Like, there's this one lottery winner from the UK who won like $2.3 million. He was a garbage man before, and he ended up spending all that money on like drugs and alcohol and hookers. And people asked him, "Why did you spend all your money?" And he's like, "I didn't feel comfortable. I
Yeah.
didn't feel comfortable with that money." And then he actually said he felt more comfortable being a garbage man. It's like that wouldn't make sense to most people. Right? Why would someone do that to themselves, right? Obviously, you're gonna want to have more money in your life to be able to do what you want to do. But for him, he just didn't feel comfortable due to his subconscious programming. And that's, I think, the biggest thing people, I think, need to understand who are listening is that, consciously you might be like, oh yeah, I want this money. I want, to win the lottery or be super famous or whatever. But subconsciously, the other part of your mind is saying, hey, that's not safe. Look where our tribe is. We need to stay with them. There's safety in numbers. If we stay with our tribe, we're much more likely to survive. And this part of your mind is actually not super logical in the fact that it doesn't understand that, hey, if I get rid of all my money and I spend it all on hookers and drugs and stuff, I'm not going to be in a very good spot in life, right? It just understands, hey, I need to get rid of this money because rich people are evil. Money is, or so rich people are greedy. Money is evil. It's money. Money should be hard to get. You have to work hard for your money. And if I didn't work hard for my money, then I shouldn't have it. And I'm just a greedy person, right?
Mm.
So that's the kind of mindset and like programming that's within all of our minds. And it comes not only from our parents, but from TV shows and movies. Like one that makes me think about it directly would be like Titanic, right?
Yeah, good
In
movie.
Titanic, right? Jack, the guy who is like the broke one with Rose, he's super poor and he like wins a free ticket to get
That's right.
onto the boat, and he's like, oh, all these people are like rich and snobby, and he goes up to the rich floor, and like the rich girl is like, oh, I don't want to spend with like I don't want to be with all these boring people up here. I want to go down to like the poor floor where it's actually fun. It's really enjoyable. Show people that like rich people are greedy and snobby and like stuck up. And if you want to have a really good time, you're going to be poor. But that's not the only movie that does it. I think
Nah.
Avatar does similar kind of things like that. Right? There's so many different movies and TV shows that have this kind of programming built into us. And so our subconscious mind is just naturally drawn to it. That's just the way that our mind works.
Exactly. And obviously, too, they make it fun to be poor. You know, Titanic, you had they're all serious. They're having their posh food and they had their suits and stuff on, and they were just, talking about how, even some of the scenes too, they were talking about what they had, what they've done. Then you go down to the poor, they're all dancing, having a party. It's like, yeah, they're basically showing like they portray the rich as these stuck up assholes, and that's what they say in conversations in the movies too. You hear it all the time. Oh, and then that's programming you to feel safe, comfortable, and familiar being, well, yeah, poor middle class, and never take that leap, take that step to being financially abundant or the best version of yourself, which is financially abundant. They keep you stuck. They keep you drowning in your own misery without you even realizing it. And that's what the TV shows, the movies, and even on radio shows and stuff too. You know, it's incredible the amount of programming that we get once we fly out of the womb from all sorts of walks of life. And financial's a big one because, you know, we are abundant. If we are in a heart-centered place, fulfilling our soul's purpose, we are abundant and we can attract anything, literally anything. That's called manifestation. And they don't show you that in schools. They don't teach that in schools. They don't have entrepreneurs coming in. They don't have spiritual people coming in saying, this is how you can manifest things because they want to keep you stuck. They want to keep you down. They just batter you and batter you and batter you and batter you and batter you until you get to that deathbed and you go, well, shit, I've done nothing with my life. You may have contributed to that, but not all of it. They did that to you. They did that through the programming. through all of these things, they did that. Because when you come out of the womb, you are abundant. You are pure love. You are a soul having a human experience. And as soon as you fly out of the womb, you are in this dense reality, this dense place. You're getting programming from your parents, from the doctors that, well, then sometimes even when you're born, the nurses take you away. If you're a man, they cut part of your Johnson off. And it's like instant trauma as soon as you exit the womb. It's wild, Tanner.
It's definitely wild, and I think it's. I heard you talk about like the abundant thing, and I think it's interesting. I heard something recently like talk about how like we're actually always abundant. It just depends on what you're abundant in. So the
Yeah.
world is just abundant in general. Like you're never like not abundant. It's just if you're attracting certain things in your life, it may be abundance of negative things. It may be an abundance of lack, right? And people don't really realize that you're always actually manifesting. Like it's not like I can manifest, you can't, and this person can't, or this person's a better manifester. We're always all manifesting something. It's just whether you're intentionally choosing what you're manifesting.
Yes, whether you're conscious or whether you're
Yeah.
unconscious, because where you are determines your reality. So you could have, for me, a revolving door of women, which is what I had. I was unconsciously manifesting that. Why? Because I was from a hurt place. And when my heart was closed off, I wanted to hurt women because a woman hurt me when I was 10 years ago. So I was manifesting that. So I was unconsciously aware until the last few years, but I was manifesting that because I was hurt. So I wanted to hurt. So with manifestation, you can set a goal, right? So in school, you do goal setting. It could be, I want to be better at writing. I want to be better at reading, or whatever it is, right? That's all they show you. They show you, you write your goal and just practice and that's it. Well, there's other layers to goal setting. It's called manifestation as well, and they only show you certain parts. So you could have a goal now. I want to be better at managing my money, becoming the best version of me, or simply going to the gym every day, right? There's your goal. So what they don't teach you in school is, what does it feel like? What does it feel like to achieve that goal? Because there's a version of you already out there that's already achieved that goal. So what does it feel like? Then you visualize it. What does that person look like that's going to the gym every day? What does that person look like that's eating healthy? What does that feel like? What does that person look like? What does that person smell like? What does that person taste like? And what do you hear? And then you visualize that moment of achieving that goal. So it could be the first week, you've gone every single day. So you get to the Friday and you go, what does that feel like? What does that moment feel like? Or what does that moment feel like when you have become you're on the path to becoming the best version of you? What does that feel like? You might be in a really shitty situation, right? You might be really, really, really stuck. There's a version of you that's unstuck. So what does that feel like? What does that smell like? What does that taste like? Could be what I've done, moved to a whole new place. There's so many things that they don't show you in the school system because they want to keep you down. So the key to manifestation is feeling it, seeing it, hearing it, tasting it, and smelling it, but also seeing that goal every single day. So you wake up and you look at the goal and you go, I'm one day closer to achieving this. That's what they don't show you in school. Because if they showed you that in school, we'd all be in our power and the last 30, 100 years, whatever it is, wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
That's the key. But then
Yeah.
you're going to have, but then the unconscious mind, might be very uncomfortable and unfamiliar with wealth. So how do you reprogram that part of the mind? So you listen to hypnosis recordings before you go to sleep. You talk kindly to yourself. You say things like, money is energy and it flows easily to me. You say things like, I love money and money loves me. Why? Because money's energy. We're energy. So the repetition, what we talk about all the time, I love money and money loves me. Money is energy and it flows easily to me. I say it to myself every day. I just wake up and say it, or I say it in the shower. I say a lot of other things too, but it's the way we talk to ourselves as well. And we're reprogramming that part of the mind so that it is comfortable, it is familiar, and it is safe to be abundant because they said you're not. They did that. They said you're not. Well, you are. Bit of a tangent there, but thoughts, Tanner?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, everything you talked about with manifestation and like the steps to do it and how to reprogram your mind, I'm all there. Another real powerful tool you can do is like do the affirmations in front of a mirror, look yourself in the mirror and
Yeah,
say
powerful.
themselves to yourself as you're looking. Super powerful. There's also word arts, what you can
Yeah,
do, which is just like pictures of people, like uh, people behind with phrases. So like it could be affirmations like "I am enough," and I can just have this all over your house. I literally have 6 in front of me here. I have a whole vision board over here. I have 8 more over here. I have all over my house, right? So like I'm always constantly reprogramming my mind. But beyond just adding new things into your mind to like reprogram yourself, you also have to look at what is like your triggers from before. What caused the programming from before? What
100%.
was influencing you to get that programmed, right? So what things are you watching? What are the things you're listening to? Who are the people you're hanging out with? What kind of social media channels are you following, right? That's something I'm constantly looking at. It's like, hey, do I actually want to follow this channel? Do I want this in my life? Do I want this in my frequency at all? No. Unfollow. Start moving towards cultivating the reality that you want. It's
Exactly.
kind of like an algorithm from like Twitch or YouTube or whatever, right? As you start to search for certain things and say, no, I don't want this, I want this, it starts to learn what you want and you'll get more of that. That's what
Exactly.
you want within your own life. You show the world what you want, you show the universe what you want, and show them what you don't want. And then you start to get more of what you want. It's kind of like it's a mirror,
Law
it's a
of attraction.
reflection,
Mm.
the law of attraction. Exactly.
And
So
if you want to be better and you want more money or you want better health, then you're not going to watch The Simpsons where Homer Simpson is just drinking beer, guzzling beer all day, laughing like a forever child. You're not going to watch Family Guy. You're not going to watch most of the TV shows out there that portray males as these weak human beings that are just beer guzzling, immature, sleeping around, forever childs. Like, if you're listening to a hypnosis recording before you go to sleep every night, then good, awesome step. If you're still watching those shows, you're still listening to the music that's programming you to be a certain way, then that other program is going to override the good work that you're doing. Because then the subconscious mind's like, well, what is the most repetitive content? And the most repetitive content is the stuff that you've already been listening and watching. So if you want to reprogram that part of the mind, you have to turn your back on that stuff. And then you start following people like us, people that are in the space. So if you want to have more money, so who would you follow that's wealthy? Mike Maloney's one. You can follow. There's so many
Robert
people that are.
Kiyosaki.
Yes, Robert Kiyosaki's another one. Thanks. I was trying to think of his name, and there's so many. It's like, well, you get rid of the people that have kept you down. You then find the tribe that are a couple of steps ahead, and you follow those people. What are they doing? What have they done? How are they doing things? So that you're learning. You're in the business gym, as Jason calls it. You're in the business gym. But you can't attract the things that you want or the things that you need if you're not healthy as well. So you need the 4 pillars of strength: health, financial, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, and financial. If you have those 4, 5 cogs working together on the wheel, then you're gonna start reaching the places that you want to reach. And there's no limit on what you can achieve. So don't limit yourself. There's no, like, reach for the stars. Like, there's no limit on what you can do and be. The only limit of what you can do and be has been your programming inside the school system that they did. They did that. You can do and be anything. So why not take that step? Otherwise, you'll do all this great work, you'll put Family Guy on, and it'll take a longer time to get there because that programming's so deep.
Yeah, the way I like to think about it is like nature will always go down the path of least resistance, right?
100%. Yeah.
But I think it's like Occam's razor. I think is where that comes from. But either way, I like to think of like our mind as like a river, right? It's going to be flowing down the path of least resistance. If there's a whole bunch of like, if there's a dam blocking it, it's going to stop flowing down that way, and it's going to find a new path to go down. That's You're essentially building a dam within your mind when you're cutting out these negative shows and cutting out the programming and cutting out the friends who are just super negative all the time, right? And then you're going to open up a new path. You're going to start digging a new way for the river to go, which is going to be through the hypnosis, through the word arts, through the affirmations, through the visualization and things like that, right? That's when you're opening up the new pathway. And it's really what these pathways are, is just one brain neuron connected to another brain neuron. It's every time you think about these things, there's a connection made that gets reinforced. It gets reinforced, it gets reinforced until finally that becomes a path that your mind's like, hey, this is the path of least resistance. That means when something comes up, some kind of trigger point, maybe you end up getting a promotion. If you have a path of least resistance where you have negative money programming, you might say, oh no, how can I spend more of this money so I don't have as much money anymore, right? What ways can I get more bills? What ways can I get myself in more debt? Where if you have positive money programming, you might be thinking, hey, how can I invest this money so I have more money for myself, right? You start to have different kind of programming for your mind. And this is just something that like not even consciously coming up. It's subconsciously your mind's putting into your thoughts, right? It's like a little like fortune cookie coming through the ground, a little like one of those little scrolls that says, hey, do this. And your conscious mind's like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Let's go do that, right? And a lot of people, I don't think really understand is how often we're operating off our subconscious mind. They've done studies around 97% of the time, you're running off your subconscious mind, off the thoughts, the urges, the cravings. So when there's a thought coming from yourself, or you keep having this repeated thought or this feeling or this urge or craving, ask yourself, where's this coming from? Why is my mind trying to draw me to eat more ice cream? Or why is my mind trying to draw me to go spend all my money on something I don't need that's just me collecting dust in the garage later on, right? Why is your mind doing that? If you start to be that kind of conscious observer and start being like analyzing your life, like a person point of view, you're going to start to realize, hey, I have this programming here. Hey, I have this here. Then when you start to identify these things, you can start to reprogram it and start to do some of the things that me and Nathan talked about. And then you're going to start to see the real results after that.
Health, financial, spiritual, emotional, and mental. Because health is the foundation of all life's success. You can't, well, you probably could, but you can't do these things unless you're healthy. You know, cutting out the junk food, cutting out all these things, eating organic, real whole food. You know, you're eating if we're all energy and money's energy and all these things are energy. If we're eating food that's been nurtured and grown either by us ourselves or by an organic farmer, and you get to know the people that are nurturing the food, you're eating that energy of people that love growing it. You know, I'll often say, you go to the supermarket, you go to your Walmarts, you go to your Woolworths, your Coles that are here in Australia, and if you're eating the food that they serve you, the 85% of people in there hate their job. 85% of people that are touching the food that are like, oh, I'm not sure about the apple, I'm not sure about the banana, hate their lives. You're eating that energy. That is a negative frequency, a negative vibration that you are consuming. And then you're wondering why you're not feeling good. Well, that's why. We're all energy. So if you can go to a local farmer's market, go to a local health food store, people in there are bright, they're cheery, they love what they're doing, they love what they're growing, they love what they're selling. You're eating that energy. You're eating that energy, which is going to ensure you feel better, you feel stronger, you feel more clearer, you feel sharp. There's a wasp flying over me at the moment, and it's still there. Love being outside, but that's the thing. That look at what you're consuming. It's the same. The TV, the movies, all those things. They're negatively programming you to stay down. To stay where you are. For men, for boys, it's about disrespecting women, being sexual, all those things. Look at the music and the movies. If you're getting that programming on a repetitive basis, that's the life you live. It's all energy. And if we can remember that everything is energy, and we can attract and be and do the things that we want, then you're going to live a better life. You're going to have more money. You're going to have better health. You're going to have better relationships. You're going to have things that are better. But it starts and ends with you. If you're getting up in the morning and watching porn and depleting yourself of your vital life energy, then you're going to feel that way. You're going to feel depleted. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel all these things. You're getting up in the morning, you're bouncing out of bed, you got a purpose, you got drive, you got motivation, you've got something to strive for. You're going to get there. But a lot of people don't have drive, they don't have a purpose, and their life has no meaning. So if they don't have those three things, then how are they going to be abundant? How is money going to come to them? They're always going to be stuck on their hamster wheel working for it. We didn't come here to work 9 till 5, Monday to Friday. Weekend comes around, we watch porn, we sleep around, we do the things that the young people are doing. We're not, when as I said before, we're not born like that. We're creative beings having a human experience that can attract and manifest the things that we want. So if we're more conscious and not unconscious, then we know what's happening. We know the people that are coming into our lives, what they're showing us, who they are. There are so many women that I speak to that are like, I don't know why I keep attracting these type of men. Well, if you were conscious about it, and if you understood your childhood program, you might have had an absent father, right? If you had an absent father, that's the first male that a female lays their eyes on. So then you'd be attracting absent boyfriends because your father was absent. So that's where you go inward and work on that father wound. For me, I had a mother one. So I was attracting women like my mother for a very, very long time there. But I was also hurt and closed off from love. Why? Because my first girlfriend cheated on me. So I wanted to hurt all women. So I had a revolving door of women come in. They were nice. They were sweet. I'd push them away because I subconsciously, unconsciously wanted to hurt them. But as soon as I became conscious and as soon as I started this journey, I have more female friends now than male friends. So it's the same with money too. If you have a negative money programming, money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. Like, how many times have people heard those two sayings? Then as the powerful creative being that you are, you're creating that reality. So you're creating money's the root of all evil. You're creating money doesn't grow on trees because that's been repetitively driven into your psyche. So you're unconsciously manifesting that. You're unconsciously manifesting that boyfriend that's exactly like your father. You're manifesting that girlfriend that's exactly like your mother. Unconsciously. You're unconsciously drawn to porn. You're unconsciously drawn to the alcohol and the junk food because it's what you've been repetitively doing for such a long time. It becomes habit, and then it becomes second nature. What can become habit and second nature can be your best life too. But you're going to have to undo all the things that you've been doing for God knows how long to get to that point. And once you get to that point, you've always got to strive for more and more things, because once you get that thing, then you're going, shit, what's next? Same with money. You might have a goal. You want to make $10,000 next month. You get the $10,000, right? Next month, bang, there it is. And you're looking around going, shit, now what? You've got to keep striving for more. Does that make sense? Bit of a tangent, bit of a rant, but just remember that they did that, right? They did that to you through their programming. They did that. It's not you, it's them. Then we can chat about who's they.
Well, and it's also want to say like it's not about perfection along the way either, right? This
No,
is about step by step forward, just continuing to progress forward, just like Nathan was talking about.
set an
If you make a
intention.
mistake, if you find yourself struggling, don't beat yourself up. Uh,
Set an intention.
continue moving forward, set an intention, and if you need help, reach out as well.
Exactly. Set an
You know?
intention for, if you're stuck right now and you're struggling, set an intention. It could be for more money, it could be for better health, it could be just going to the gym tomorrow. Set that intention and watch your life change. I set an intention 4 years ago that I needed help. Now, it was an energetic call out. So then things happened in my life over that 3 week period where I ended up going out for the last time, having that last drink and falling through that table. That was my rock bottom moment. The next day, I listened to a podcast Jason did with my buddy Adrian. That started the journey. That was an energetic call out. So it doesn't have to just be, hey, Joey, I need some help, bro. It can just be simply just sitting with yourself and going, I need help, and help will be on the way. The universe will bring that to you. That's manifestation too. Just set an intention. All I did was in 2020 was I need help. Didn't know how it was going to come, didn't know where it was coming from. But as soon as I hit that table when I was talking to those 3 young girls, help was on the way 6 hours after that. Woke up pretty hungover, pretty flat from the other substance I was doing. Help was there. I listened to that podcast and it changed my life. It can be so simple. Doesn't have to always be a physical reach out. You can just sit with yourself and just go, I need help. And the universe will bring help to you in the most beautiful way. You could say, I need more money, right? Detach from the emotions involved and money will be on the way. I want a relationship. Sit with yourself, detach the emotions, the relationship will be on the way. So then that's the journey of patience, trust, discipline, and belief. Those 4 mottos have changed my life. I sit with myself, I set intentions, I want a relationship. I did that like 6 months ago. It's on its way. It's so simple because then things start to happen in your life. The universe starts testing you with people and places and distractions to see if you're ready. So for me, I've set some intentions and they are playing out now. So if you set an intention to go to the gym tomorrow, you will go to the gym tomorrow. But then you need the patience, the resilience, and the discipline to then go as often as you want. It might be 4 times a week, 5 times a week. But yeah, as Tanner said, progression, not perfection. If you go to the gym tomorrow, sweet. Then you need to go the next day as well and keep going. But just be careful. That part of the mind is very, 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 very powerful, Tanner. And we know that once you get to a point where you are physically strong and you are physically good and your tribe's a bit lazy, a bit overweight, a bit junk foody, a bit toxic, or full of the habits that you've quit, they will be like the crabs in the crab bucket trying to bring you back. And that's where you make the decision. Do I stay where I am or do I go over here? That's the choice. I know Tanner and I
Yeah,
both made that choice.
yeah, we have. I mean, you'll definitely notice that there's going to be some like resistance to your change in
100%.
your life, and a lot of areas, right?
It's
Within
your
your own,
resistance.
within yourself. Yep.
100%.
It's all just reflected back at you. So you got to ask yourself, is doing the same things you're doing now worth it to get the same results you're getting now? If you want something different, you're going to do something different to get new results. So
100%.
where it starts inwards.
That's
Yeah, I
it.
mean, I think it was a good talk. Talked about the mind, reprogramming it. Talked about you know but where like financial self-sabotage comes from, where it's very common. And we see it all over the place, right? We see it with celebrities, we saw it with Michael Vick, we saw it with people who win the lottery. You just look at almost any celebrity, you look at most of the time they're going to be doing drugs, they're going to be, doing a bunch of things that honestly are not going to be leading them down their best path. We know from people like from like Marissa Peer, a lot of these celebrities are not happy. Just because you have a lot of money does not necessarily mean you're happy too. I think we should also talk about that. Is like, while financial wealth is good, it's not actually, I wouldn't say it's good or bad, right? It's just energy. It is what it is. It's used for an exchange to get something else. So don't see it as like the solution to everything. Instead, look inwards at yourself and look at what you want in life, and look at your actions that you can take every single day and the thoughts you can change, and then your life will get better. It may not come in the form of you getting, all these sales at your job. It may not come in the form of you getting a job promotion or something. It may come in the form of you winning the lottery. It could come in the form of getting some kind of inheritance. It could look in the form of, someone gifting you something, right? So don't like get your eye on the goal of something that you want, and then unattached from the results, unattached
Yes.
from how the world's going to provide it to you, because you don't know the best path that thing is going to come to you. Just open yourself up to all the opportunities and say, what's the best path that I can take here to move towards this goal?
I was
And that's
talking
where
to
you
a
start to see the progress.
I was talking to a 13-year-old in my current program, my teen program, Tanner, and I said the same thing in one of my presentations. And I said to him directly, I said, "What is it that you want right now?" He was only 12, 13 actually. I'm like, "What do you want?" He goes, I want a new soccer ball." And he looked at mum, and mum shook her head. And I went, "Is that the only way you can get a new soccer ball?" And I got his mind thinking. And I went, if mum says no, what if tomorrow your buddy has a soccer ball that he wants to get rid of? What if you're in the supermarket and the lady, or you're in the health food store, or you're wherever you are, and someone just comes up to you and says, "I have a soccer ball that I want to get rid of. I bought this for my child and it was the wrong one. So here you go." And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah, if you can detach from that one outcome of you getting that thing that you want, you open yourself up to multiple ways of getting that thing." And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "If you want that soccer ball, what's another way you can get that soccer ball?" He's like, "Oh, I could do chores around the house. Mum and dad can sort of pay me, and then I can save up and get one." I said, "There's another way." And I said, and I personalized, and I said, well, when I set these goals, I just had the emotions and the feelings attached to it going a certain way. And I was fixated and focused on it going a certain way. It had to be this way. I want that business. It had to be this way. This is the only way. Until I had a mentor say the same thing to me. She's like, "Nathan, you can open yourself up to the multiple ways that thing can happen, or that person can come into your life." It's the same thing when I asked for help. I didn't know where help was coming from. I wasn't fixated and focused on, oh, it has to be that podcast. I just hit a table, and then I was hungover, and whatever I was, I had to go on that journey, and then help arrived the next morning. But I wasn't attached to any of the outcomes. But then as soon as my life started getting better, I was like, shit, there are some things that I really want here. But I was so fixated and so focused on it going one way that I closed myself up from the multiple ways that those things or people or places can happen. Now, me and my brother moved up here eight months ago. I was fixated on it going a certain way, that we're going to have a couple of weeks to sort of find our feet and da 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 da. It was going to be that in this month, on this time, at this day. It didn't come because I had to go through some other stuff. And then once I went through those things, 24 hours later, my brother gets the email and we're up here in 3 days. Now, it's 18 months prior, Tanner, I was fixated on, we're going to have a couple of weeks to sell our stuff. We sold all of our shit in 3 days and drove up here, and we got the confirmation on the Friday. We're up here on the Monday. Now, that is how universal laws and different things work, but you have to detach from the outcome. Like Joel with the soccer ball. He's like, "Mum, can I have a soccer ball?" That was I could see it in his eyes. He's like, that's the only way he thought he could get one, until I said, bro, what if there's these other ways? And it opened him up to the multiple ways that he can get that soccer ball. It's the same with your goals, with anything that you want. Yes, you may want that better body, but you're not, unfortunately, going to get that better body tomorrow. But in 6 months' time, you'll be different from where you were from the previous 6 months. But if we're emotionally attached to us looking and feeling a certain way, and you don't get there, ask yourself why. And if you want more money and you want better health, and you're not getting that, ask yourself why. If you want a better relationship, ask yourself why it's not here yet. Which is, I've done that. I've asked myself why it's not here yet. I've had to go through some more lessons to learn how to actually nurture the feminine, right? And then lead and be the masculine. That's what I've currently been learning to bring in my woman. Because I'm going to put it out there. I want a woman. I've put it out there so many times. But I was so fixated on meeting her at this certain place, this certain time, this certain day. Because, when your body's physically able, Tanner, it can do some pretty awesome shit. And you can get visuals, you can get some psychic abilities come back online. You start to see things and you're like, oh, I'm meeting her in a supermarket. So then you're in the health food store, you're looking around going, I was supposed to meet this woman in the supermarket. She's not here. Why? Because the universe was showing me that I needed to detach from it going a certain way, and I can be open up to the multiple ways that a woman can come into my life. And then have the patience, the trust, and the resilience and discipline that that's going to happen. Because it's bound to happen. So if you can let go of the emotions and the attachment to that one thing that you want, you will get that thing in the most beautiful way. Because in my life, I'm living proof that when you detach from the outcome, Tanner, the most beautiful thing will come into your life in the most crazy way. But you got to detach the emotions to that outcome. And that's another layer to manifestation. So I sort of personalized that, threw it out there.
Oh, yeah. No, that's super powerful.
Yeah.
I think we covered pretty much all of it. Like,
How
really good
have you
points
gone
here.
with that? When you started your journey, Tanner, were you sort of fixated on things going a certain way? How was
Yeah,
that with
I
you?
mean, that's something I had to realize for myself because, like, essentially, it's getting tunnel vision in on one
Yeah.
specific thing, right? When you get that tunnel vision, you're not seeing the other opportunities. You're not
Yep.
seeing the other things that could be an opportunity to make the thing that you want. If you're just saying this is the only way it has to happen, and then oftentimes you get frustrated, like
Oh
setting
yeah.
yourself like a date. Oh, by this date, I'm going to have this much money, and then you feel pressure when it doesn't come, and then you stop believing in yourself and the ability that you
Yes.
can create, right? But a lot of times these things didn't come for a reason. Well, either maybe you have some programming that's interfering with that thing coming. Maybe you are manifesting something else at a higher, like maybe you say you want money, but then everything you're doing is like the opposite. It's like telling the world the opposite, right? You're essentially saying with all your actions, you're saying, I don't want money. But with everything, every once in a while you'll say, I want money, right? That's going to be not, you're not going to be able to manifest that. So just looking in at yourself and then saying, this is the thing I want. I don't know how I'm going to get it, but the universe is going to bring it to me, or I'm going to create it and I'm going to manifest it into the world. And
Trust.
I'm just going to start taking actions to the area, right? Like
Trust. Yeah.
essentially, you trust, you put your trust into whether you believe in God, the divine, whatever, religious things you're into or whatever spiritual things you're into. Put your trust into something, right? Put your trust that it's gonna happen. Just as sure as you're gonna, the sun's gonna come out tomorrow or whatever, right? There's always gonna be something that's gonna happen. And I think it's really important that we talk about too, is just like with manifestation or anything like that. A lot of people, I think I actually briefly touched about this, like the timelines people always set on themselves, right? It's just like getting yourself focused in on like the big picture and like only happening one way. If you set yourself on a certain timeline, then
Yeah.
that's gonna be the same kind of thing. It's gonna likely happen. You're trying to force it too hard. Just focus on what you want and then start taking actions towards that. Start supporting yourself with that with the programming, and things will
Yeah.
come.
Because
I
I
think
would
we'll just
get
leave it
fixed,
there.
like I would set goals the last couple of years and I get fixated on achieving it and I give myself a time frame. And the time frame was a bit too um like it was so much to achieve in such a short space of time. Like, yeah, you can achieve anything you want in any time, really, but I didn't give myself enough time to actually achieve it. And then I'll be sitting in, I didn't, it's like you can detach from the timeline. Don't really, mate, when you set goals and stuff, give yourself a realistic timeline. Give yourself plenty of time to do the work to achieve that thing. Because for me, I had these big ass dreams that were probably 5 to 10 years away, and I wanted them in 6 months. It's like you're doing the work to get to that big goal at the end. So then it's like refining and going, well, what are the little steps I can take to get to that end result? And that's that perception or perspective flip for me helped me so much in my manifestation goal setting that hang on a minute, there's a big goal out there. Let's enjoy the journey. Let's set some little goals, some little steps to then get to the big goal. But also be grateful and enjoy the journey that you're currently on. And one of my biggest lessons too is being grateful for what I currently have and enjoying the journey that I'm currently on to get to that next step, whatever that may be.
Yeah, I think that's important too because it helps you realize how much you're actually manifesting in your life, right?
Yeah,
When you go
100%.
back and like think about, hey, this was my goal, and this is why I actually think having goals like written down is helpful
It
because you can
is.
like look back and say, hey, these were my goals, and this is where I am now. Hey, I achieved some of these goals. Hey, I made progress. I am manifesting that into my life, and it starts
No,
to encourage your progress and helps you reinforce the fact that you can do it.
whenever I'm sitting in some impatience or some frustration, Geordie always goes, look around you, Nathan. Look where we are. And then when my brother's the same, I say the same thing to him. I go, well, look where we are. We actually manifested being right where we are right now. So
Yeah.
if we can manifest this in 18 months, imagine what else we can manifest. And it's like, yeah, like this time 2 years ago, I wanted to be where I am now. So this time in 2 years, I know where I want to be and the person that I am. But it's like the person 2 years ago that I was just talking about that was falling through tables, talking to three young girls. Like I wanted to be this guy that I am now. I'm living that guy. So it's like showing me, the universe showing me, Nathan, be grateful for how far you've come. Because this time 2 or 3 years ago, you wanted to be where you are now. It's showing me to just be grateful for what I currently have built and what I've currently got, because that's then going to propel me forward to the next things that I want and be. But I had to just go back and be like, well, yeah, that guy Nath 2 years ago really, really wanted this, and he got it. He wanted to speak. He wanted to be have a platform. He wanted to be followed by people. He wanted this 2, 3 years ago, and he fell through that table. The energetic cry for help. Like, to be so grateful for what I've already got has been my biggest thing. And I'm expressing my gratitude live on air because that's what the universe was trying to tell me this entire time. And I have finally understood what's been going on the last few days. Oh man, how good's this? I am super grateful for what I have now, because this time 2 years ago, I wanted this. So imagine what you can achieve in 2 years' time, 12 months' time, if you set that intention. Just set the intention, let go of the feelings involved. Whatever it is that you want, it will come. But have patience, trust, resilience, and discipline, and go for it. Go for it. Because on the flip side, if you don't, and you're on that deathbed, Tanner, we talk about it all the time, you you don't want to be on that deathbed looking your family in the eye and saying, I had that chance and you didn't take it, or you had multiple chances and didn't take them. Why not say, look, I mastered patience, I mastered resilience, I mastered discipline, and I did and achieved the things that I wanted to achieve. I'm going to cross over now and I'll guide you guys on your life journeys. See you later. There it is. Mic drop.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, there's no time like the present to start,
And
right?
I've watched
Don't
and
say, oh, tomorrow, the next day.
I've looked at Jason's post the last few days, and it's another sign from the universe too. Like Jason's posts come into my feed sometimes if I'm sort of just like I'm very careful on how much time I spend on there, but I often see Jason's posts and he's at the moment like he's showing his followers to look for beauty in everything. Like he's taking photos of like his time in Italy and his travels and stuff. And I'm like, there is beauty in everything. There is beauty in this life. Yeah, it might be so dark out there. It might be so dark in here. And I'm pointing my head if you're listening on Spotify. It might be so dark in your head. It might be so dark living your life. But there is beauty out there in the world, and there is beauty inside of you. Like right now, I'm sitting on my balcony. It's a beautiful, picturesque day here. Not much breeze. And it's like there's so much beauty out here. You know, you might be in the depths of it all. You might be in the absolute trenches, but there's beauty in it because there is a light shining through that you're getting to. That's the beauty. There is so much beauty out there, and there's so much beauty within as well. And if you can remember that, then those dark periods will be a little bit easier because there's beauty in them. And you're going through it for a reason too. The universe is showing you something. It's teaching you something. It's finding solitude, listening to that little voice inside. What's it telling you? Because everyone has that little voice. That little voice is screaming. That little voice is shouting. It's like, it's telling you, it's showing you the life that you can have.
And anytime it feels dark within yourself or around you, just remember you have the ability to turn the light on.
You do.
You're the one who's in control of your own mind,
That's it.
and you can take back power. We're more powerful than we've been led to believe. It's about time we take back our power and we change this world for the better.
If we are all energy, and if you're doing the things that we used to do, then your energy is depleted or it's switched off. When you start taking better care of yourself and you start implementing the things that we teach you and show you to implement, your energy turns back on. Your light turns back on, which shines light on the darkness. That's how this works. We are all energy. It's as simple as that.
So,
And I
yeah,
teach this. I'm just going to do a quick little plug, Tanner. I teach this in my 7-week program, which is for 19 to 35-year-olds. And that launches in 4 and a bit weeks. 3 guest speakers. I have a Czech practitioner, Scott, who's on my last podcast. I have a recovered alcoholic, and I have my brother as well. So I've got 3 guest speakers, 7-week program that goes into all of what we spoke about today and more. Free resources. You get access to an awesome tribe of people that I've created that are all on the journey so that we can all have a community, that we can all strive for betterness and to have that support. Because right now, and for me, the journey was, I also had my brother, but the journey was lonely at times. I felt like I was on my own a lot. And it's like, well, how can I be like, how can someone else feel supported and feel connected to a tribe? It's like, well, I'll build a tribe. So the tribe's there. You'll get access to that. You'll stay in that. It's a forever thing. We're all going to be striving to be better, and you get access to that. You get free resources. You get meal plans. You get exercise plans. You get affirmations, packages. You get a lot of stuff, and then you work one-on-one with me. You get it all tailored to you. You get the everything tailored. The affirmations are personalized. The meal plans, everything's personalized. That's the one-on-one with me. The group coaching program is just showing you the door. The one-on-one with me is I will pick you up and we will walk through it together. Tanner, give yourself a plug, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys end up working, if you guys need help, taking back control of your mind, starting to create a better version of yourself within this world, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I work with people one-on-one as well. And I really, what I specialize in is teaching people all about the mind. So if what we talked about today really interested you, if you want to learn how to reprogram your mind and understand why you're sabotaging your progress, or what kind of thing is maybe holding you back, then come on over. We can schedule a free talk. And the nice thing is that there's help everywhere, right? Whether it's me, whether it's Nathan, whether it's someone else, you ask the world, for the universe, for help, and it will come in whichever way it sees fit. But just know that you're not alone. It's not embarrassing to ask for help. It's actually a sign of strength. And every time I've moved forward in life, the reason why I've moved forward is because I've asked for help. I see 3 different times I've asked for help and I've worked with someone, and it's literally skyrocketed me moving forward in life. And I'm really grateful I have. Before I had asked for help the first time, I used to probably think I was like, like a lot of people, asking for help is just a bad thing, but it's not. It really is a good thing to ask for help. And it's 30 minutes of your time to jump on a call and talk with one of us. See where you would want to go, how we can help you get there. And that can change your life. That 1 30-minute call. Is it worth it to you? Is it worth it? Is that amount of time worth it? How long have you been dealing with whatever you're dealing with the depression, with the addictions, with the pain that you're feeling, right? The frustration with the job that you're working in. Is it worth a 30-minute call to jump on and talk with someone? I'll leave that with you, but that was my perspective, and my life has drastically changed, and I'm so grateful that we've learned this information together, and that I was able to come on the podcast and talk about it with you today, Nathan.
Same here.
Thanks for
Super
having me
grateful
on.
as well. And Tanner, I'll just add a little bit to what you just said, which was beautiful, man. It really was. Thank you for sharing that. There's a doorway or a path set for you to be your best self. If you're anywhere on the journey right now, what does your best self look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? And if help is required to get you onto that path or back onto that path, then there's plenty of hands there that are going to help you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, shake yourself off a bit, and get back on that path. That's the work we do. We help you get back on that path because it's your path. It's your journey. It's a beautiful journey. Once you're on that path, it is a beautiful journey. The whole world lights up. So once you allow some help to arrive, so you can just be nudged back on that path towards your best, towards whatever it is that you want, because you'll get there. So, yeah, reach out.
Love it.
Plenty of programs, plenty of free advice available. So, email us, DM us, whatever. Do your thing. Let's go.
Woo!
Time out. That was a good chat, man. What's on for us
That
today?
was. Yeah, that was a great talk. I love that. We'll have to do it again here soon.
We will. Stay well, mate. Keep doing your thing, and we'll have to talk again soon. And we'll get some roundtables going too, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely.
All right,
All right, everyone.
this has been the Power Up Self-Sabotage Solutions Breaking Free Merging of Podcasts. I'm Nathan. This is Tanner. We'll see you guys again real soon. And if you're new to this and you're new to all this stuff, all of our links are in the bottom so you can follow us on any random platform that you wish. And start the journey, guys. It's the best journey ever. So make it happen. We'll talk soon. Cheers.